Okay, so here we go. So guys, this is our flawless face training. And as I'm talking, Crystal is going to be doing her face. The first product that we're always going to talk about when you're doing your advanced glamour appointments is, of course, you've got to always show the eye makeup remover. I know that we don't always show this at our skincare parties, but this is like a main featured product because it is Mary Kay's, best-selling well, it is, I think, our best-selling product. Always let your customers know that there's absolutely no oil in this. You don't ever want to put an oil-based product on your eyes because it leaves that oily residue, and anything you put on your face that next morning after you've taken your eye makeup off at night with oil-based is going to run right off. Believe me, I used to make that mistake over and over, and that's why I love this. This is a silicone base, so it still separates, but you guys know it feels like water, and so you always want to feature this in the beginning of your glamour appointment. Okay, now next thing we're going to talk about when you're building that flawless face. If you do have customers that have already started to experience the some lines and the line in the 6 targeted wrinkle areas, hang on just a second. Okay, in the 6 targeted wrinkle areas for a woman, I'm going to go ahead and point those out. You always want to make sure you point this out to your customers because they may not really know what they're getting and where to put it. And so you're going to put it here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, if your customer doesn't have the smoker lines yet, you don't have to put anything there. We're going to talk about what causes women to have that when they don't smoke. When I was a new consultant, I did some work with the School of Dermatology to learn more about skin. And they actually would come to our Mary Kay meetings, and I went and she did some parties for me. When women wax right here, there's not a bone. And when they peel that off, you damage the follicles and it causes deep scarring. So I was in their clinic one time and they actually showed me some customer or patients who had come in that had the deep smoker lines and never ever smoked. It was from waxing. And so you want to be very careful. You can bleach it, you can shave it with those cute little pencil razors, but never ever wax this area. And so you can talk to your customers about that. I will tell you that this fills in lines. We actually did one woman's right side of her lip one time at a party with the wrinkle filler, and it filled it in and left, and so she was amazed. So a woman's 6 targeted areas. So what it's doing, it's like spackling. It's filling in those lines, but over time, because it has retinol in it, it actually irons it out. So it's smoothing it out over time. So it's very thick and emollient. It doesn't take very much. And I like to put this on right after I do my cleanser and before I do all my other things so that I get it in there and it starts to fill in those areas that you've got those deep lines. All right, so that's a wrinkle filler. Let's talk about foundation primer. Foundation primer, we used to say, rub it together, warm it up. You still want to do that because the warmth of it will stick to your foundation better. Now, it's okay if your moisturizer is not dry and this is not dry, because when you go to put your foundation on, it's good to have a smooth, dewy surface so that your foundation goes on smoothly and you're not just kind of, pushing down. But what I've learned is that where we used to just say feather stroke, try to go down and then up with your foundation primer. Because for those who have customers, if you're doing a customer space and she has large pores, going up covers the pores and then going back down covers them. It fills them all in. So that helps to minimize those pores. And remember, having that microdermabrasion and the facial peel and the charcoal mask will really clean out those pores for those customers. So what I always say is, that's putting the cart before the horse. If you're trying to get your primer to solve your problems, let's fix the problem instead of covering it up. And then it all just works so well together when you're using the right skincare. So that's the foundation primer. It also has sunscreen. All right. Okay, now, under eye corrector, that's going to be the next thing we're going to do. And Crystal doesn't wear under eye corrector because she doesn't have dark circles and neither do I. But this, you guys know, this is a wonder. It's like the magic eraser. So it is for dark circles, okay? And it's gonna literally erase them, not permanently, but it's a cover up, and it's a really effective cover up because it's the beauty and art meet. The worlds come together. And on an art wheel, blue, black, and purple, the opposite of colors contrast each other. So blue, black, and purple is peach and orange. And so this highlighting pigment has a peach and orange pigment. So it erases that. Now, if you've got customers, and remember, we're building this space from the ground up. So you're at this point, you're going to do this before your foundation, okay? The under eye corrector. If they have dark circles here, then they're going to have something going on here. So we want to put your under eye corrector up in here too, because there's no half moons, okay? If you just do here and you don't fix what's happening here, usually they've got some darkness here. We want to brighten up their face, because anywhere where there's darkness, it's deep, it looks gothic, and it's shadowing and ages them. Especially for women that are older, we want to look younger and softer and moist, okay? We want to look that ivory, beautiful, flawless face. So, same with young women. You don't have the same issues that we have, but eventually your customers will. So you want to educate them on, what's happening now in the season of their life and what's going to happen later in the seasons of their life. So under eye corrector. So the next thing that you would do is going to be choose a foundation. Now I'm only going to talk about 2 of our foundations today. I'm going to talk about the CC cream, and I'm going to talk about our beast. This is the TimeWise 3D. If you haven't switched over to this, you want to. So Mary Kay just hit a grand slam with this. They took our very popular TimeWise foundation, and then they took the concept of our Miracle Set 3D anti-aging formula, and they married them together to form this incredible foundation that's smooth and silky and leaves a very silky appearance. If you haven't seen my comparison that Lydia did for us of the 2 foundations sitting on the face, and how it's almost like a smooth, silky piece of cloth. And then with the TimeWise, which was really a great foundation, it was like you could see the pores. Why is it so different? There's one ingredient in our matte and our luminous 3D full coverage foundation, and it's called silica. Silica is a very silky ingredient that's making this go on differently. Plus you have the 3D components that's going to give you that anti-aging. So it's doing, once again, double duty. Mary Kay, all of our new home run products are really doing double duty. The other great thing about this full coverage 3D formula is it has a 3-part matching formula. I know when you look at it, it looks scary and confusing, but when you start to understand it, it's not. So the 3 components are the ivory, beige, and bronze, okay? That's a woman's skin tone. A skin tone never changes. And then you've got the cool, neutral, and warms, C, N, and W, okay? And so that's an undertone. A woman's undertone never changes, okay? And so either you're gonna be ivory in the winter, like I'm ivory in the winter, but I'm a neutral. So my neutral N, I'm always gonna be an N. I'm always gonna be an N, but I'm going to go to a beige in the summer, okay? That's the depthness of it. And then the number system, the numbers, if you stay in the neutrals, if you're neutral, then you just go deeper. You look at the chart and you see how deep it goes. And as long as you stay in that neutral zone, if you're neutral, then you're going to get your right winter and summer shades. Now, the reason before you couldn't like, swing all 3 ways, because you would know if I put on a bronze undertone or a warm undertone, you'd be like, whoa, if you were pink and then you put on an olive, you would know. But what they did was when they merge these, they put a little bit of each in all these colors. And so, you know, if you're going out for the evening and you want to look a little warmer, you can kind of swing another way and give yourself some warmth to your, you know, to your evening look. And before you couldn't do that. So I love playing with these shades. Now, you're probably asking, well, how do you know if you're cool, neutral, or warm? Well, there were questions that we would ask. When you're in the sun, do you tan or burn? If you burn, you're cool. If you burn and then you tan, you're neutral. And then if you tan, you're warm. But here's another way that I love. If you look good with silver eyeshadow, okay, then you are a cool. If you don't look good in silver eyeshadow, you're probably a warm, and you probably look good in earth tones and golds and, you know, the gold penny looking eyeshadows. Cool people cannot wear the warm earth tones. And then the neutrals, they look good in everything. And so we always say they swing both ways, or all three ways. And so that's kind of another way, other than asking, do you burn and tan, you know, that you can figure out neutral, warm, or cool. So that is our foundation. Now, here's what you need to know as a consultant. 80% of all women are wearing the wrong color foundation, okay? And 91% of them are unhappy with their foundation. And so that can be, you know, when we're talking about re-entry into the field, you know, now that you're a little bit more educated on foundation, do some foundation clinics, do some fun stuff, and help people actually get things that they need and find the right shade. CC cream, you guys are all familiar with CC cream. It's that perfect shade for summer, when you're going to the lake, when you still want to have a little bit of something on. It's got some sunscreen in it. I love it under mineral powder. And it's for those people who don't like, heavy coverage. You can also wet your sponge and even make it even more sheer. Okay, if it's not sheer enough, wet your blending sponge, squeeze out the water real good, and then you've got another even lighter weight coverage with your CC cream. All right, so that's your CC cream. So let's talk about the blending the brushes. So I'm going to give you some facts about the brushes. We've got the blending brush, and when you first look at it, it has so many hair fibers in here. It almost looks like a real sponge. You can see it if you haven't tried it. It has over 20,000 hair fibers. That is a lot. And this gives you a full coverage finish. This is my new favorite brush, okay? The blending brush. 20,000 natural fibers, okay? The regular liquid foundation brush, that's the powder. Hang on, I'll show you that in a second. The regular liquid powder foundation or liquid brush, it has the angle. I love this brush too. It was my favorite until the blending brush came out. And I let my customers try both. When they're doing foundation, I let them do the foundation on one side with this and the other side with this, so that they get to choose. This has about 14 to 16,000 natural bristles, but it still provides a really great finish. It's just not that, I think it's more of an airbrush finish. So it's a great brush too. And I love letting my customers use those. So you want to pull a couple of those out from your from your shelf and demo them and let your customers decide. You'll notice that you sell them equally, that it's a preference. All right, so now when some tips with your brush, this finishing spray. I'm going to talk about finishing spray a lot. If you want your makeup to last all day, so my makeup has been on since early this morning. Was it early this morning? Yes, I had it when I talked with my directors. Finishing spray. Crystal's got it right now. Normally it goes on, I do it after I do the foundation and your concealer, okay? But when you're putting your foundation on, if you will spray your brush and then dip it in your hand, remember we always put our foundation on the back of our hand because it warms it up, and then we just it's like a palette. But if you'll spray your brush and then dip it in, it just takes it just gives your foundation a whole nother level of stay on, just stay on ability. You're going to use this. I'm going to tell you to use this frequently during the building of your flawless face stages. Okay, so that was one. And then always put it on after I do my foundation, then concealer. So let's talk about concealer right now, because that's going to be the next thing. So your concealer, this is, I've got to show you guys this because you will use our concealer is amazing. Okay, so I'm putting it on the back of my hand, and I want you to see how it really pulls the pigment. And when I show you this, you're going to want to put this on your lids and your brow bone to really accent I'm going to put it on the back of my hand, and I want you to see how it just kind of absorbs into my hand, the foundation. The eyeshadow. And then I'm flipping it over so I have a clean, so you can see. And now I've done it on the back. Look at this. Can you guys see? Oh, no, you can't see. I got to get it right. There you go. This is from the concealer, and this is without the concealer. See how it pulls the pigment? It will really make your eyeshadow pop. Now, for those who need a pick-me-up on their eyes, our eye primer kind of does the same thing, and it has caffeine in it, so it gives your eyes a boost. Okay, I'm trying to get a little bit out here, and I'm going to show you how this also helps to make your color pop too. I'm going to put it right there. Look how that made it pop. So both of those products are great for really pulling out the pigment in our eyeshadows. And you guys know our eyeshadows are 24-hour wear. It's our new patent. It's the ChromaFusion formula. Eyeshadows, cheeks, everything. So you've got your eye primer. We call this the eyeshadow glue, but remember it's got caffeine in it, so it gives your eyes a pick-me-up. Now, Crystal is doing I can tell what she's doing now. She's contouring. And what I love to do with this is you're going to do, let me get my contour out. You're going to do the palm tree with your concealer. You're going to go down the front of your nose. You're going to make the triangle, okay? And I'm going to tell you, remember, do it on the brow. Get your cream eyeshadow brush and just take that. Just go out like it's your eyeshadow and then fill it in so you get this part covered really, really well. It's going to accent your brows really, really good and just make your eyes pop. I like to go right above. If you've got really great brows that you really want to accent, go just a little bit above your brows too with your concealer, okay? And then you're going to do your triangle here. You're going to do right here. This right here is literally going to make your contour pop with your, when you do your bronzer right here, it's going to give you that chiseled look, okay? And for those, when you start to get, hold on, let me get the noise.
I'm gonna sit right here.
Where is it? I can't find it. Okay, there we go. And so take that concealer. You're going to go through a lot of it, but it lasts a long time. And you're going to contour with your concealer because it has that highlighting pigment. And so do those areas, the triangle. No, this is called the palm tree. Come down, then do the triangle. Then do the jaw right underneath this line right here. And then don't forget your brows, okay? And so that is with your concealer. And then you're going to go over all that with your powder. Now, our powder, your choice of powder is going to be your translucent powder. Crystal, are you on the translucent powder, mineral powder yet? So the translucent powder is for all skin types. It's very clear. It has a locking mechanism just like the other. Crystal is probably baking. I know that's what the young girls do. That's what she's doing right now. If you can see her, she's baking. She's going to set that on her face right now, and then she's going to move on probably to doing some more contour with the highlighter. She's going to let it bake on there for just a few minutes. Is that right, Crystal? And then she's going to come back and she's going to blend it. All right, so she's young, you know, her skin's firm, but I'm just going to tell you, I tried to bake the other day, and I'm always going to tell you because I feel like because I'm older, and I know y'all hate to hear me say that, I'm blazing the trail, and baking gets in your fine lines and wrinkles. So ladies, be careful baking if you're my age or older, okay? I'll tell you what to do in just a second. But I baked, I put it on, and I ran and started something in the oven, and I came back and I'm like, whoa, magnified my fine lines right underneath here. And I was like, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. But if you just dust it over and blend it all in right away, it's fine. But my favorite that doesn't get in your lines is the mineral powder. And I'm going to tell you why. Most powders are milled 3 times. The mineral powder has been milled 5 times. And for those of us who are older and we need something to set our foundation with, the mineral powder, and you just dust it, but you have to use the kabuki brush. The kabuki brush is very firm, and because it has to have this special brush, you cannot use your big powder brush because that is for your loose translucent powder, or you can actually use your sponge brush, your sponge with that. But this can be a set, you can set with that also. But this is the mineral powder, and because it's a true foundation, it can be worn by itself. You have to use the kabuki brush or it will not go on evenly. All right, so that is our powder. Crystal, where are you with you got your powder on? Okay, now she's gonna contour. She's contouring right now. I want you to check her out and look what she's doing. So she is just she's using one of her brushes, and really she's doing a really great job with that. You can use your cheek brush, and you can use your pointed, the little angle edge with your contour, and you just go right down like she's doing. Just make a really, don't be afraid, because remember you got that light line right here with your concealer. Don't be afraid to really do that dramatic, because you're going to blend it in later, okay? And then you're going to do right up here, and so really it's going to become a 3. You're going to do it here, here, and right here at the jawline, and then eventually you're going to blend, and then you're going to blend out. And so that's how you contour and you highlight with your concealer. And you can use your angle brush to get you that really defined chisel look. If you're not comfortable using that, you can use your big powder brush. Your big powder brush that comes in your brush set. And you can do a softer, if you want that softer look, but just like you can do it the 3 with your powder brush. I'm going to show you once again the angle on your cheek brush. So this angle is what you're going to do your cheeks with, and then this angle, the other angle, the longer angle, is what you're going to do that really chiseled contour with your bronzer. All right, so now let's see, Crystal, let's talk brows. Are you ready for brows? I can go on with brows. She's still doing her, now she's using her powder. I can't wait to see the finished product. Let's talk brows. All right, so I'm going to show you how to figure out if your brows are arched correctly, because when they're arched right, they frame your face, okay? And so you want to take a pencil or a thin pen, and you want to go up the side of your nose, and you want to clean it out right there, whether it's with a tweezer or a little pencil razor, whatever you use, battery razor, I love those. And then you're going to go right across. If you had a mirror, you would see where your iris is. And then right where your iris is, boop, that's where your peak should be, okay? That's where your peak arch should be. And then to make sure that they don't go off too far, you go down by the nose and then down by the eyes like this, and make sure it's cleaned out right there. Don't go past right there, that area right there. And that's how you know if you have shaped them correctly. Now, let's talk about the tools that we can, define our brows. We have the brow pencil, that's mechanical, and the brow definer. And so I think the difference between the two is the definer is that sharpened pencil, and it gives you more of a thinner stroke look. And then the mechanical gives you a little bit more color, but still gives you can stroke it. Any of those pencils are going to give you that thin look. And that maybe for this outer look right here, if you've got them and you've got them too short and you want to frame your face a little more, you want to go out more, you can use the pencils, okay? But if you want to thicken them up, you want to use the brow tint. The brow tint comes in 4 different colors, and it has the cute little wand, and I just love it. I love it so much. And you can give them, it makes you have fuller brows. So if you thin them out or they're thinning out, it gives you that full look. If you're younger and you want the full brows, it gives you that full brow, but it just fills in all those sparse areas. So I love, love, love my brow tint. Okay, let's talk, Crystal's doing her brows right now. Let's talk mascara, okay? And before we talk mascara, because she's been contouring, and I know that we have a highlighter that you can highlight right here, but it's a shimmer, and that's great for young girls. But for those of us who really want to accent like our jaw right here, you can create your own highlighter, not highlighter, yeah, your own contour with the Naturally oil. You can do a little bit on the back of your hand, and you can take a color. You can take like a matte color. Remember my whole thing about matte and shimmer. It's real. You don't believe me? Go facial an older person and do one side matte and one side shimmer, and you will see that shimmer gets in the lines and it magnifies them. And so for those of us, when you finally get to this age, you will see what I'm talking about. But you, as a consultant, you are going to see all ages. And so you've got to know how to make them leave your table or their table looking their very best. And so you've got to know how, if someone says, I want to accent my cheekbones, like let's say they have large cheekbones, beautiful large cheekbones, you can take a matte eyeshadow like the Biscotti, and you can just scrape a little bit off with like one of your demo, and then you put it on the back of your hand, and you take a drop of the Naturally oil, the nourishing oil, and you mix it together, and you just gently just rub, okay? Rub like that. And then that's also another part of that contouring layer, okay? Crystal's still working on her brows. While she's doing that, we're going to talk about mascara and lash primer. Lash primer is actually going to help separate, define. I love it. You can do that. If you don't have lash primer at home, you can, once again, we've got products that are going to be double duty products. You can take your little demo mascara wand and roll it around in your translucent powder, and just kind of go through your lashes a little bit, and then do your mascara, and it acts as a primer. But you try it. If you don't use primer, get hooked on it, you'll sell a lot of it. Crystal's doing she's doing her Lash Intensity right now. Lash Intensity has this dual impact wand. You coat with the short bristles, you stroke with the long. The coating of the short ones give you the full lashes, and then the long bristles give you the length. And so you coat with the short, and then you roll it around and you stroke with the long. Now, are we all just consultants on here? I want to say something. You will have customers that as they get older, their eyes kind of run more, and this might run, but I'm going to tell you a trick. If they love the volume that it gives, because you guys know it gives the best volume, tell them they can still use it on the top, and then maybe use Lash Love or Ultimate on the bottom. All right, so there's lots of ways to solve little problems for each individual customer as they come up, okay? And you can always ask me, because I always find a way. The difference between Lash Intensity and Ultimate. Ultimate is a volumizing, but it's not the volumizing that this is. This is like volumizing on steroids, and it's lengthening too, lengthening, volume, and then Lash Love just gives you, really, to me, gives you length. I love it. I love that. It's great to put on. It's easy to put on. It doesn't clump either. And so those are my 3 favorite. I am not a big fan of the lash lengthening. That is only for specific people who already have really full, thick lashes and they just want a little bit of shaping because they get kind of wiry. Do not sell a regular person because it says lengthening. They kind of tend to zone in on that. I'm like, exactly why did you want that? You know, because if you're looking for lengthening, let's try this. Because if I've seen them or if I haven't seen them, you know how you get new customers. And so try to direct them. Just don't take that, oh, they know what they want. Always ask them, what made you choose that one? That way you can direct them, because the last thing you want is for somebody to buy one of your mascaras that should not been that wasn't intended for their type of lashes, and then they'll never reorder from you again. And so always question, because you are the expert. Okay, you are the expert. That's what we want them to always know. Okay, so I think we've covered a lot of my products. Remember, now Crystal is finishing up, and eyes, we'll do eyes some other time, but you guys, she's doing, what is that? Bronzer. She's doing her bronzer now. Okay, she's doing her bronzer, and then we're gonna see the finishing. And then remember, finishing spray, once again, here's what while she's doing that, I'm gonna give you guys some other non-traditional ways to bronze your skin. You can use if you like a liquid bronzer, you can use your CC cream, 2 shades darker, to do a bronzer for yourself. You can use your pressed powder, 2 shades darker than your foundation, for a powder bronzer. Cream the powder, 2 shades darker, can be your bronzer. Lots of things that you might have in your palette, in your color palette, that you can use as a bronzer if the particular items that we have do not conform well to your skin, because we all are different seasons and different our skin's aged at different stages. And so these are just options of wonderful products that have double duty that I want to share with you. All right, so she's bronzing now. How do we get her on full screen? Now she's contouring. So she's contouring with our shimmer. That's when I was telling you about, if you're over 50, sometimes 45, depending on how healthy your skin is, you want to stay away from shimmer because it does get in your lines and it magnifies them. When you're over 45, you want to go with a creamy look. I'm actually going to lose power here.
Hey, Michelle, can you hear me?
Yes.
So I'm looking at my phone right now, and to get her full screen, she has to have her microphone on.
Okay, turn your microphone on. Let me mute her.
She'll have to turn her microphone on and speak. There has to be sound coming out.
Okay.
Second of all, can you, while you're talking, just because I have it, can you talk about the it's not the I'm in on my part to the, it is dark, but the conditioner, the eyebrow and eyelash conditioner. Can you talk about that for a second?
Eyebrow eyelash conditioner.
Building serum. I'm sorry.
We don't have that anymore. Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. I just got it like yesterday.
I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind. It's not on my paper. All right, so yes, that actually really, really works, Dana. And the last person that I sold it to, she had to stop using it because her lashes got so long, it was hitting her glasses and it was driving her nuts. So it goes on at night, it goes on the root bed of your lash line on the top, and then you can put it on your brows, okay? And it really, really works. It is a fantastic product. We don't sell enough of that because, thank you. And it's so cheap. It's only like $38, I think. And the other company, I'm not going to mention, theirs is $138. And they got in trouble because they had an illegal pharmaceutical ingredient in there that made everybody's their eyes turn from blue to brown, which I would be really ticked off. And so ours is safe, it's cheaper, and it's effective. Crystal, are you doing your spray? She's doing her finishing spray. So that you do an X, X, and a T, and then you wave it. All right, Crystal, turn on your mic so we give you full screen so we can see. Can you turn on your mic?
Can you hear me?
Yes, there you are. Awesome. Oh, look at the contour. Look at her cheekbones. Crystal has naturally beautiful cheekbones, and look how I love it right here. See? Looks good.
And right here on my nose.
Yes, she did down the side of her nose. When you
highlight your nose.
Yes, when you have a pointy nose like I do, I think you're supposed to go down by the side. And if you want to make your nose look flatter, you go right down the middle. And now she's putting her lip gloss on. Beautiful. And that's without really any eyeshadow, right? Did you put
just mascara, everything you went over, no eyeshadow. It takes too long.
Yeah, I know. I ran out of time. All right, does anybody have any questions? I'm going to turn off the recorder, but we can ask